Monday morning. So Paul Francis Sweat here. Sorry I'm a little late. Normally I would try to do this at about 6 o'clock, but I have a seminar coming up where I go over the root causes of back pain. So if you would like to sign up for that, you can leave a comment below and I will send you the link for that. More than likely, it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, September 27th. So again, I'm going to go over all the root causes of back pain. 95% of the time, that is what's causing your back pain. There are some issues that are beyond my ability to help you, but this should really get you going. Like even if you do have like more serious issues, this could help you mitigate the pain, if not get rid of it permanently. So I used to suffer from severe back pain. So, this is something I used to do back when I was, suffering from chronic severe back pain. So before we start, you're going to need a foam roller, a pillow or an Eric's pad. Going to need a medicine ball or something to help keep your hips stacked. This is about 8 inches, but if you're a tinier person, you may need something a little smaller. And then what you're going to need is a stretch band or a towel to make sure that, for one of the stretches, we can keep your leg straight instead of bending it. So whenever you do stretching, or you're going to do static stretching, never do it cold. Always make sure that your body is warmed up and ready to go, especially around the hips and the core area. Those people, like physical therapists and chiropractors that you go to that give you a stretch routine that they tell you to do right when you roll out of bed, find somebody else. That is a very bad thing to do. That will actually make the back pain worse, especially after you've been, lying in bed all day and everything's a little looser than it probably should be. You can overstretch and then make things worse. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some dynamic stretching to make sure everything's warm. Keep it slow and controlled, no fast motions. Again, you've got to warm up first, otherwise you can injure yourself. And if at any point you feel any sort of strain or pain in your lower back, especially if it's above a 3 on the pain scale, skip it. Do not do that stretch or whatever movement we are on. And then, if it stays bad, obviously don't continue, and let me know and I'll see what I can do to help you. So we're going to start off with high knees. So pull your knee to your chest, feeling the stretch in your butt. Do not hold it too long. You want to stay dynamic. If you hold it, that makes it static. If you hold it, that makes it static. So we want to keep everything moving. Awesome. And now we're going to do butt kickers. If you can grab a hold of your foot and get your heel to your butt, great, do that. If you can't, just kind of, kick the leg up, getting the heel as close to your butt, keeping your knee directly underneath you. But if you can, really grab that foot, get it close to your butt, keeping that knee underneath your hip. We'll say that's 5. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to do straight leg lifts or kicks. If your back is not bothering you currently, you can put a little more English behind it, really get that leg up. Otherwise, just kind of pick it up using your core muscles. Again, we're going to do 5 aside. I forgot to say this, but if at any point you need something to balance on, feel free. Like if your balance is a little wonky, do not feel like you have to wobble all over the place. So that especially goes for this one. So I'm going to alternate sides, but if your balance is a little off, feel free to find a stable object, put your hand on it and stick to one side. But if you can balance, you're going to pick one leg up, reach for the toes, come back up to tall, switch legs, do the same thing, reach down, up tall. We're going to alternate side to side. Again, really focusing on the hamstrings and butt, keeping that core tight. If you have trouble activating your core, let me know. I do have a video about core activation. Oops. Make sure you don't talk while you do this. I will send you the link, but if you have trouble figuring out what I want you to do, we will set up a session and I will show you how to activate your core muscles. 99% of the population does not know how to activate their core muscles correctly, which is why a lot of us have had or will have back pain or currently have back pain, depending on where you are in your back pain journey. So now what we're going to do is you're going to cross one foot in front of the other, keep your spine neutral, tilt from the hips, do not round your back. Come back up to tall, do the same thing on the other side. Up tall, we're going to do 5 a side. And always come up to all the way to tall in the middle. You do not want to do any halvesies. Perfect posture is all, not perfect posture, but good posture is also one of the main things that will help you alleviate back pain. One of the problems is that, we all have poor posture from sitting in front of the computer or sitting on our phone or sitting on the phone, sitting, holding the phone or whatnot. Like we have to work on keeping ourselves as tall as possible, working on neutral spine, no rounding over. So last dynamic exercise, do whatever you want with your hands. Take a big lateral step, stretching the inner thigh, working the muscles of the leg you stepped with. Step to the other side, back to center, and you're going to go side to side, really focusing on stretching the inner thigh, working the butt and the thigh of the leg you're stepping out with. Okay, apologies to the people currently watching, but I gotta go grab water. Sorry about that. Oh, I forgot the foam roller. Yeah, never mind, too late now. Okay, so we're gonna lie down on our backside, head on the pillow. If you can lie down and prevent your head from tilting back, you don't need the pillow. But for most of us, that's kind of an issue. So let's lie down. Make sure you're all nice and relaxed. Do not push your back into the floor. Let it do its natural thing. If it arches more as you progress through the stretches, try to keep it more stable, but don't try to push your spine into the floor. Anyone that tells you that is about a couple decades behind on, the current information as to what helps you get back pain relief. So find somebody new that is up and current in, what they actually will give you that will help you relieve your back pain, like permanently, not just temporarily. Oop, there goes the room. Okay, put your ankle on your knee. Make sure this knee of the leg that is up stays away from your chest. So when you pull it back, it's not coming back toward you. Grab behind the knee of the other leg. Pull it in as close as you can, feeling a medium stretch in your butt. You're going to hold that. And for any stretch, you do not want to feel more than a medium stretch. If it's overly intense, try to relax. Because if you stretch and it's too intense, that'll actually have your body tense up more after the stretching, which will lead to probably more intense back pain. So this is why for a lot of people, I don't necessarily recommend stretching first until you get the core muscles stronger. Because if the muscles are weak, it'll cause the other muscles to be tight, which will make, you'll stretch it. And if you stretch it, it's just going to exacerbate the whole problem. So always try to make sure your core muscles are nice and strong. And if you would like to set up a success session to go over, how you can get your core muscles stronger, leave a comment below and we'll set that up. I apologize for not saying switch sides, but I'm sure you noticed that. So again, make sure medium stretch, keeping that up knee, actually they're both up, keeping the knee of the leg, ankle, whatever. You know what I mean. Okay, put that down. Grab your towel or stretch band. I highly recommend one of these stretch bands. Not really sure what it's called, but I can send you a link to the site. I'm sure if you put stretch bands, you'll be able to find it. So wrap it around your foot. Grab the loops where you can. Make sure that leg is straight. You do not want to bend to the knee, because if the knee is bent, you're actually contracting the muscle, not stretching it. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, grab the loops, pull it back with the leg straight, and you want to feel the stretch in the belly of the muscle, so right in the middle. Again, keep it straight, heel up. You want to feel it in the belly of the muscle. If you feel it behind the knee or where the hamstring meets your hip, try to reposition. You want to feel it all right here. And again, medium stretch. Anything too intense will make the problem worse overall. Okay, bend that leg. Switch to the other side. So straighten, push that heel to the ceiling, toes back towards you. Pull it back as far as you can. As you can tell, the side is tighter. Make sure that leg is straight. You want to be stretching the muscle, not contracting it. And if by chance through the extra stretch, if you notice it getting a little more relaxed, you can pull it back a little more. But make sure it stays a medium stretch, and make sure the leg stays straight. A lot of people, when they pull it back, they start bending the knee. You do not want to do that. Like frequently in the gym, you'll see people like this. You're contracting the muscle, you are not stretching it. So make sure the leg is always straight. So put that down, straighten the leg we just stretched, pull the other leg back, bent. Grab the knee with your opposite hand, grab the ankle with the same side hand, pull it back as close to your chest as you can get it. And you want to focus on stretching the butt of the side you're pulling back, but if you're stupid tight, you might feel the stretch in the hip flexor on the side that's down relaxing. But you really want to feel it on this side. Okay, slowly straighten that leg. Bend the other leg. Again, grab the knee with the opposite hand. Grab the ankle with the same side hand. Pull it back as close to your chest as you can get. Okay, woo, you hear the snap? So put that leg down, bring the other leg back, and then bring both legs back, and then give your knees a big giant hug. Pull them back. Your hips will come off the floor. If your lower back starts to round, try to keep it down on the floor. Do not let it come up off the floor, because we want to keep the stretch in the chest. If your back starts to come up, you're going to put the stretch in your lower back, which we never want to do. Never stretch your lower back directly. If you go to anyone and they have you doing stretches directly in your lower back, they have no idea what they're doing. Find somebody else. Some people are so far behind in the information that they use that supposedly helps, that essentially in the dark ages of back pain relief. So put both those legs down, relax for a second, and then roll your whole body. Try to log roll, do not twist, and then sit up to tall. Let the room stop spinning. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you want to stay tall and neutral. At no point for the next couple exercises will you round forward. And try not to pick your head up like I did. You want to keep a neutral spine. So take the bottoms of your feet, put them together, sitting tall. If you can pull the feet back closer to your hips, that's great. But otherwise, just pull them back as far as you can while being able to maintain a tall, neutral spine. And once you get in position, if you can, push down on your inner thighs. If you can't without rounding, skip it. Just stay tall and try to get as much of a stretch out of this as you can. But remember, nothing past a medium intensity for the stretch. If you notice yourself slouching, make sure you reposition, getting yourself tall and neutral. Okay, next stretch. So straighten one leg, put the bottom of your foot into your inner thigh. Can't really see my whole foot, but you get the idea. So turn slightly to that leg, keeping a neutral spine, tilting from the hip. Reach as close to your toes as you can, feeling the stretch in the belly of the muscle behind your leg, not in your knee. If you feel behind the knee, reposition or sit up a little taller. If you notice yourself relaxing, you can reach forward a little more. But again, neutral, tall spine, no rounding. Excuse me. Okay, sit up tall, switch legs, same deal. Turn slightly to that side, keep a tall, neutral spine. Tilt forward, again in the belly of the muscle, nothing behind the knee. And if you notice you relax a little bit, reach a little farther forward. Okay, up tall, back to the first leg. Take that other leg, cross it over. Again, tall, neutral spine, twisting from the middle back. Do not twist from the lower back. Getting as far over as you can. If you can get your elbow to the outside of your knee, great, but make sure you are staying tall, feeling the stretch in the middle back. If you feel anything at all in your lower back, stop, go back to center, see if you can, twist not as far, or if it still stays in the lower back, skip this one. There should be no twisting from the lumbar spine. Anytime you do an exercise that involves that you rotate or twist, you want to keep it all from the middle back. Any exercise that has you twisting the lumbar spine is a dumb exercise. So switch sides. Again, staying tall and neutral. Nothing in the lower back. Okay, back to center. Carefully up onto your knees. Use your pillow or your Airx pad. If you need to balance on something, that is fine. But we're going to do the stretch now, the hip flexor stretch, that for 80% of people that suffer from back pain, if they just regularly do this stretch in addition to strengthening their core and their butt muscles, their back pain will go away. That is it. Just this one stretch. This is like the main stretch you want to focus on to relieve your back pain. So always make sure the knee is directly under your hip. Anyone that shows you the hip flexor stretch where the knee is behind the hip has no idea what they're doing. That is not a stretch. That's you taking the top of your hip and pushing it into your hip capsule. So the sensation you're feeling is not necessarily pain, but that's not what you want to feel. So keep the knee under your hip, squeeze your butt. If you want a little extra stretch, reach up to the ceiling, but make sure you're stretching your hip flexors nice and tight. Going to hold for 30 seconds. It's always fun watching people pop on and pop back off. Kind of curious as to what they're expecting when they log on to this. I've seen some pretty interesting, people doing stretch routines on this. Okay, let's switch sides. Accidentally clicked on one because I was like, wait, what is this? And why is it on YouTube? And then they kept showing me videos like that. I was like, no, YouTube, I don't want to see them. So again, knee under your hip, squeeze that butt. Okay, relax that arm. Now we're going to do the counter stretch. For the counter stretch, you need something that's about waist to lower chest height. So we're going to use my couch. That's about the perfect height for me. So you're going to step up to that object. You're going to put your hands on that object. You can't even see my butt. But you're going to push your butt out, knees bent slightly. Let the chest drop down. Really relax into that stretch. Oh, this feels so good. And you want to make sure you are feeling it in the posterior of your body, so the backside of your body. But make sure you are not getting a stretch in your lower back. You want to stretch everything else but your lower back. Never stretch your lower back directly. It'll just exacerbate the problem in the long run. I will do a video on that, and I will tell you why that is bad. Okay, slowly come out of that stretch. Now we're going to do the most intense stretch of the morning. This is a very challenging one, so if you have issues with it, feel free to use something to hold on to, like I have the support beam back there. When I used to do this, I would hold on to the support beam to help balance myself. But now I don't need it, but if you need support, please use it, especially to get yourself as deep as possible. So what you're going to do is bring your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, drop yourself down, do not pick your head up. You will tilt forward, do not round the back, getting as low as you can. Push out on the knees. Again, you'll tilt forward, but do not round your spine. Do not tilt your head up, getting that butt nice and low. We're going to hold for another 20 seconds. If you can, drop your hips deeper. Push out on those knees, feeling those hips. Again, nothing more than a medium intensity, so that's why I want you to hold on to something if you need to. Okay, good. Carefully stand up tall. Last stretch. You'll need your pillow and whatever you are using to keep your hips stacked. So start with your bottom leg straight, top leg bent, knee on whatever you're using to keep the hips stacked, arms forward. Now you're going to rotate away from your down arm as far as you can. Make sure the twist stays in the middle back. You are not twisting your lumbar spine, which is why we have the hip stacked. Getting your arm as far as you can. If the arm stops, just kind of let it hover. And if you relax a little bit, you can bring it down. So you want to feel the stretch in the middle back, but if you're super tight, you'll also feel it in the butt, in your chest, but no sensation in the lower back. If you feel the lower back, bend your elbow, roll back to center, and then come back to see if you can get to a point where you can get the stretch without feeling anything in the lower back. As you can see, my body relaxed a little bit so I can get a little further into the stretch. So bend your elbow, roll back to center, then turn to the other side. Again, same deal. Make sure the hips are stacked. Open up as far as you can, twisting from the middle back, never the lower back. As you can see, this side is much looser. One of the things that had me start doing this stretch, we have a rotary test that we do in the fitness industry to see how much people can turn, especially to see if you have rotation ability or how tight you are. You're supposed to get somewhere between 20 and 22. When I did the rotary stretch on my good side, I got a 12.5. On my bad side, I got a 0.5, but that was only because I cheated when no one was looking. I did not want to have a negative score. Okay, bend the elbow, roll back to center. Nice and carefully, now very carefully, stand up tall. Okay, awesome. Now that is like, again, the stretch routine that I did back when my lower back was really bad. So again, always warm up first, never stretch cold. If you're more into just starting your back pain relief journey, stick with the first 4 stretches and then build up from there as everything starts to loosen up. So again, my name is Paul Francis Sweat. I'm a pain-free movement specialist. I concentrate on people with lower back pain because I suffer that myself. Granted, I also used to have knee, hip, and shoulder pain, but the back pain was the worst. So if you have any questions on how to start your back pain journey, please leave them below. If you want to get more in depth and have my help, we could also set up a success session and talk about it then. And we can discuss my 12 weeks to pain-free program. Obviously, it is 12 weeks, and by the end of it, you will be at least 90% pain-free, and you will learn a ton of stuff to keep yourself pain-free because we will deal with the root cause of your back pain, not just the symptoms, which is the pain. We will deal with what is leading to the pain, so the pain will go away and never come back. So again, if you'd like to talk about that, leave a message below. We'll set up a success session and go from there. So Paul F. Sweat, pain-free movement specialist, signing off. Until next time, train smart, train hard, train safe, train to sweat.